Welcome to another video here at Rick Shaves. So before I forget, guys, don't you forget to like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification for all future videos that I post. All right, that being said, let's get into the shave. So I was feeling very nostalgic lately, and I was thinking about my childhood and kind of thinking about what I first started off shaving with. And so that's why I titled this video, my middle school shave. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the products that I started out with. And I think a lot of young men who start shaving kind of start off with these very similar products. So up first is the razor. This is a cheap disposable, I believe it's a store brand. So it is the Studio Select for men. I got it at the Dollar General, and I think it was only $1 for a pack of 5, so it's like a 20-cent razor. But that's essentially what I started with. I think a lot of young men who first start shaving kind of started out with something like this, because let's face it, guys, they're shaving peach fuzz most of the time, and they're probably not shaving very often. I know I didn't. When I first started shaving, I was probably shaving maybe once a week or every other week. It wasn't until high school where I actually started shaving a little bit more frequently. But again, this is very similar to the like the Gillette Sensor 2. I think it even says on the package there, comparable to the Sensor 2. We'll see how it shaves. I mean, I'm not expecting much from a 20-cent razor, but again, a lot of guys, young men who start shaving, started off with one of these, or do start off with one of these, and that's what I started off with. All right, the soap, or the shave cream in this case, I'm really just trying to use it up. I don't like wasting stuff, so I'm not going to throw it away. No. Yes, I started off with Barbasol. Good old Barbasol. Look, I know some of you guys, y'all like this stuff, and that's fine, and it worked back in the day for me. I just think there's better products out there that are more healthier for your skin to use. But I mean, let's face it, guys, this does the job. It does what it's supposed to do. I just think that it's not the greatest stuff to be putting on your skin. Okay, now the aftershave. I don't need a brush because I didn't use one back then. It wasn't until almost 10 years ago when I actually started doing traditional wet shaving. Up until then, I was shaving with a cartridge razor and the shave gel stuff from a can. So, but this one has stayed true in my rotation, my shave rotation, for a long time, guys. Brute. Now, this was the stuff we used back then. So, I was thinking about, did I ever use Old Spice? I think I might have used it a couple times, and that was probably because of my uncle's influence. I had an uncle that lived with us when I was a teenager, and he loved Old Spice. But, the thing was that, Old Spice came out in, the late 1930s. So that was always attributed to old men that wore Old Spice. So it was it was your grandfather's aftershave. This one came out in the around the somewhere in the 60s, 1964 maybe, somewhere in there, somewhere in the 60s, guys. And so this was more like the aftershave my dad would have worn. But when I was growing up, it was readily available at just about everywhere. And a lot of guys did wear this when I was in middle school, and I wore it in middle school. And I'll tell you a story about Brute and what I think of, why it's kind of real memorable for me. And, yeah, this was the stuff, guys, the Brute aftershave. That's what I used growing up. I still use it to this day. And now I even use Old Spice because I love the smell of it. And in retrospect, it's not. you know, I know it was kind of at that stigma of being for like your, old men or your grandfather, but I think it just smells good. And now when you're older and you're, full grown adult or kind of, you just, it doesn't matter to you anymore, right? It doesn't care. As long as something smells good, that's what matters. All right, the Aftershave Balm. This was one that I believe I used. I used this and I used After. I don't have any After right now, but I did have some of this growing up, and I think I might have used this more during high school. But I think I may have used this one, or I may have used the blue one in middle school. I'm not quite sure. But when you're first learning to shave, you might have some rough shaves, and it might feel irritated because you press too hard or something. So, but all right, guys, that's the shave going down memory lane, and enough talking. Let's get to shaving, right? My time travel shave. Yeah, guys. Just so you know, I already did my pre-shave routine. Took a shower, washed my beard real good. Now, what's the biggest mistake is, and I would tell young men who are just getting ready to start shaving, or guys who are maybe looking at this and thinking like, oh, well, I maybe want to learn how to shave. Pre-shave care is very important. Okay, wetting your beard, getting it hydrated some way to prepare your beard for shaving is essential, and it helps your skin out a lot. And using good products too obviously helps it out a lot. But pre-shave care is definitely good. So if you have your favorite face wash, or I use just a bar of soap because I have really oily skin, so that really cuts down on that, and it gets the bristles nice and wet. Okay, the Barbasol shave cream stuff here. I don't need a whole lot. All right, just a little bit. Waft off that gas smell that it normally has when it first comes out that I don't like. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the smell. And that, the Phoenix Cat, the cease and desist stuff, is supposed to be like a copy of this, but I think that stuff smells better than this. Some guys like the smell of it. I know Sinatra Lennon likes the smell of Barbasol. Once it kind of settles, that initial gas and whatever other smells are, it's okay. It starts becoming a little bit more tolerable for me. But I have a very sensitive palate when it comes to smelling and taste. So, like, I can't, like, we went on for our honeymoon, we went, to a vineyard, and we were tasting wine and stuff like that. We were doing wine tastings, and then I just can't get into it because it all tastes like alcohol to me. All I taste is alcohol. I don't really taste, there's a few wines that actually are good to me, but they all taste like alcohol essentially. That's like the upfront and strongest taste I feel. So it's very, it's just not very likable for my palate. Okay, it's got this little plastic cover here that just slips on and off. Take that off. Has the aloe vera strip there. This one does not pivot, I see. So it is very similar to the Sensor 2, the Gillette Sensor 2, because that one does not pivot. So it's a fixed angle on there. So let's go ahead and just wet this razor and get to shaving, guys. Let's see how it works. Yeah, guys, I've been feeling really nostalgic lately, and this isn't really a review. Let's just say this is just a shave, guys. This is just I'm just showing you some stuff that I used growing up, and this was kind of the routine I had in middle school and then somewhat into high school. as well. Now, when I got to high school, I traded up from this to the the Gillette Sensor XL, I believe. And I love that razor, and I wish I still owned it. And I may do another time travel shave where I show you my high school shave, you know, what I used in high school. But the problem is I don't own a vintage Sensor XL. I own the new one, so I may have to use that one. The old ones are really expensive right now, and you know, for good reason, because they were such a popular razor. It'd be nice if they brought that one back, you know, kind of like Russia and India and some of these other places. They you know, did that reproduction of the Track 2, the Gillette Track 2. It'd be great if we could get somebody that does the Sensor XL or the Gillette Sensor. That'd be awesome. This razor's doing okay. It's not the sharpest razor, but you know, when you're that age and you're just shaving peach fuzz, it probably feels like, you know, like it's doing the job. It is doing the job though. It's getting the hair, so I mean, for the most part, it is cutting. It's not uncomfortable, but I can tell it's not the sharpest razor around. But you know, for my purposes of today's shave, it's working all right. Again, travel razor type thing. If you're in a pinch or something like that, really what these are for. All right, let's see how it does under the nose area here. And the aloe strip seems to be activating now more so than it was before. Adding to the protection of the shave. So that's good. It's starting to activate right now. Man, well, when I first started shaving, and I was using these kind of razors, and I always did store-bought ones. My parents never bought me like the actual Gillette ones. It was always like, you know, at our grocery store we had H-E-B here in Texas, and that's the name of our like main big, you know, grocery chain that we have here in Texas. It was always those, the Hill Country Fair, the whatever they were at the time. I think it was Hill Country Fair. But this is Dollar General's version of that. Not too bad though. But I used to, I nicked myself one time really bad on this nostril here because I went in too fast and whoop, I shaved my nose essentially and took a little chunk of skin out when I was first learning to shave. Yeah, it was a mistake I only made twice because the second time was this nostril. I had to even it out. That's what it was. But, I mean, hell, it's not doing too bad. So I guess in a pinch, these wouldn't be too bad of a razor to grab. I mean, unless you have a really thick, coarse beard. Mine's not that thick and coarse, so I guess that's why they work better. And I would say, I would probably bet that the Sensor 2, the Gillette Sensor 2s are sharper. So if you do have a thicker, coarser beard and you're in a pinch, I would probably try and grab those. But if you can't, something like this, the store-bought ones might be okay. And we are doing 2 passes. Now, of course, in middle school, I didn't do 2 passes. Only did 1. But times have changed. I think I've gotten a little older. Upgraded from peach fuzz to actual hair, to a full beard. And my son's gonna start learning how to shave too here pretty soon. He's around that age, but I already got him some stuff. He's not gonna start off like with this here. I got him an actual razor. As a matter of fact, that Uno razor that I reviewed a while back, I gave that to him. So, you know, should be a good razor for him. And I think I even said in the video, like, that'd be a great starter razor for a young man who's just starting his shaving journey. That's it, guys. We all gotta start somewhere. This is where I started years ago in the mid-90s. That was the time. Like I said, I've been feeling real nostalgic lately. That's a lot of shave cream, probably way too much. I've been forcing my wife to watch 90s commercials from when we were kids, like toy commercials and stuff like that. And I always watch like vintage shaving commercials that like have like, you know, shave cream and razors and stuff like that. I always watch those. I always like those. But we've been watching like 90s commercials and just remember like, oh, I remember that toy, or I remember that product, you know. I remember that show. Which is kind of what inspired me to do this show. Just gonna do 2 passes, guys. That's all I need. That'd be suitable, presentable for work. Now with these, you do have to clean them out a little bit more frequently. These cartridge style disposables. Again, cheap razors. You know, but I mean, it's so far it's been pretty comfortable. So hasn't caused me any problems so far. Yeah. Remembering all those commercials, man, from back in the day. They really brought back some memories of being a kid, and you know. And that's, I think, the great thing about nostalgia. I think it can be a kind of a double-edged sword at times, because, you know, it can make you yearn for the past, and, you know, if you focus too much on that, that's where it becomes that negative, you know, outlook on it. But, you know, reminiscing about, you know, being a kid and, you know, the things you remember from watching on TV or, you know, experiencing with friends and stuff, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm even wearing a retro shirt right now. Let me see if I can see it here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was the jam. That was my jam back as a kid, man. I loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So it was Ghostbusters, or the real Ghostbusters. They had to change that name, but He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, Ghostbusters, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those were like the main ones that I remember watching. I had the action figures and stuff like that, but I love the Turtles, man. That was really awesome, because I grew up in the I grew up in 2 decades. So I grew up in the 80s and in the 90s. So I remember a little bit of the late 80s because I was a kid. I was a little kid, but I still remember a lot of it, and a lot of it's still held over. And that apparently, you know, I still listen to music. Honestly, I think that's the best decade of music and movies, and, you know, is the 80s and 90s. Of course, I think every generation says that, you know, like, oh no, my decade was the best. I'm like, I don't know about that. Razor seems to be doing really good, giving good protection with the aloe vera strip. If I remember correctly, I don't think the Sensor 2 has that. I mean, they may make one that does, but I don't think the original Sensor 2 has that aloe vera strip. That's a pretty good shave, though. I mean, for 20-cent razor, it's not too bad. All right, I'm just going to do a quick cleanup pass under the neck, kind of get just a little bit closer in some of these areas here, because it's nice. It's never as close as I like, but okay, that's probably more than enough there. More than enough. Okay, I'm trying to get rid of this stuff now. Yeah, guys, this was one of the first shave cream I used when I was a kid. Then my dad bought me some, a can of Barbasol, and a packet of these kind of razors. They're the store brand, whatever, you know, razors. And he bought me some of this too, this Brute. And this stuff was the first introduction to aftershave I had. And that's why it's my favorite. You know, again, it wasn't an Old Spice guy because, you know, it had that stigma of being the old man scent, you know, my grandpa wore. As a matter of fact, I think they rebranded their thing to say, like, if your grandpa didn't wear this, you wouldn't be here today, you know. So that was clever. I think that's a good way to try and kind of own that, to own the stigma, you know, to kind of tell them, like, hey, yeah, but you wouldn't have been here if your grandpa didn't wear this. And I probably wouldn't have been here if my dad didn't wear Brute. So, yeah, but I remember he bought me Brute, a pack of these razors, and some Barbasol. And my mom actually went and bought me something similar to this because I told her that my skin was feeling dry and irritated after I shaved, so she got me some Aftershave Balm, and that really did help. I remember my dad teaching me how to shave and telling me, yeah, go slow, go slow. As a matter of fact, I think it took me like, God, I don't know how long I was standing in front of the mirror. I was standing there so long, I think I was locking my legs, and I remember just feeling sick, and I had to stop halfway through it and throw up because I was feeling so nervous because I was scared about cutting myself, for one, and I was feeling nervous, and then I was like, I think I was locking my legs, so that didn't help, obviously. And I felt like passing out and throwing up. And I think I did. He was all, so what the heck? Like, he just didn't understand. And I know I had been there for a while shaving, trying to get it down, because he's trying to instruct me, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this. To be young again. Oh, anyways, it was an experience, guys. But I got used to it. Tried to, you know, cut myself a few times, and it's gonna happen. You're gonna cut yourself. Obviously, I still cut myself to this day. It's just part of the shaving now, you know. Yeah, I don't want to, but unfortunately, that's what happens. I mean, not the closest, but it's presentable. I mean, it'll pass for work or something, you know, or going out or something like that. All right, that's it. We're done with the shave. Cold water rinse. I wish I knew that back then. I wish I knew about the pre-shave routine too, of taking a shower and all that. And there's still guys to this day that just, you know, they wake up or they just, oh, I got shaved. They just go wet their face real quick, splash some water on it, and then they start shaving. That's probably the worst thing you can do. You're not going to get a great shave doing that. Again, oops. Messed up my glasses. My glasses. That was another one. The Simpsons. Oh, God, I love I still watch The Simpsons. It's on Disney Plus. They have the whole series. Now, to be fair, I watch up to about season 12. After that, I think it's kind of gone downhill. You know, but that's another nostalgia one for me, man. When I was a kid, loved watching The Simpsons, Beavis and Butthead, you know, things like that. South Park, I watched a little bit of that. Family Guy, yeah. I mean, those were all around kind of in that 90s era. Okay, let's see. Looks good. Feels pretty good, guys. I mean, for what it is, it's a very cheap, inexpensive razor. Honestly, it'd be a great travel razor, in my opinion. If you have a thicker, coarser beard, you're probably gonna need something better. But on the go or just in a pinch or something, it's a great razor. From the 1960s, guys. Oh, it's kind of just this masculine floral scent. That's what it is. I know it has like, I'm going to look up the scent profile, and I'll put it somewhere around here. Maybe. You know, but ultimately, yes, it has a lot of floral notes in there, but it has like this masculine scent too, because it has like sandalwood and vetiver and some other stuff. You'll see when I put the scent profile here. Okay, let's try this. Ooh, yeah, that's good. No burning so far. Put a little bit more. Like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, another movie from the 90s. No. And I believe he was using Brute too. See? So it's been around since then. It's very popular. It's one of my favorite like commercial aftershaves to use. Probably my favorite, I would say. So when I was growing up, I was a teenager, I worked at this minor league baseball stadium in San Antonio Missions. That's what it was called. And I was a teenager, obviously. This is the 90s. And I used to just help out. I was an usher. I did some other stuff in the office for them. And but I used to hand out stuff at the gate before and after the game whenever they had promotional stuff. Well, they always would have these little sample bottles of Brute aftershave, right? And I had, I don't know how many of those, because they would let me, they say, hey, if you want a few of them, go ahead and take them. And I would pocket like, 3 or 4 of them. And, throughout the season, they hand those out, And so I had a bunch of little samples of Brute, aftershave. So that's what I would use all the time. Put one in my bag, for after gym class or something, you take a shower or whatever, I would put some on, to kind of just get a little of that aftershave or cologne kind of scent. But wow, yeah, this feels good, guys. Pretty good. All right, but as I remember from back then. Barbasol dries my skin out pretty bad, and that's why I feel what it's doing right now. So this is where that kind of comes in. I'm just going to use about that much, not too much. This is the Gillette Sensitive, I believe. Sensitive Skin. The Gillette Aftershave Lotion, it's the Sensitive Skin, or the white one. The other one I think is a gel. This is a lotion. I like this one better because it has that sensitive skin formula, so it doesn't have alcohol or anything that I know of in it. I mean, it might have a little bit in there. It doesn't have ingredients on here, so but as far as I know, it has no alcohol, so it doesn't sting or anything like that, but it does help my face get rehydrated, and that my face just like sucked up all that lotion from the shave. But yeah, I mean, guys, look. Very decent, very presentable. All right, let's go ahead and recap this nostalgic shave from middle school I have here. This is a very cheap, inexpensive disposable razor. What is it called again? The Studio Selection for Men. I got a Dollar General. I hope I didn't say Dollar Tree. It's Dollar General. And it was $1, so it's like a 20-cent razor. Worked pretty good. That aloe vera strip took a little while for it to start kicking in, but once it did, it made the shave a lot smoother. So definitely added to the protection of my skin. Again, I think it'd be good for a travel razor or you're in a pinch and you need something, or maybe you're just going to be gone for a couple of days and you're going to have to get a shave in there and you want to take a whole lot of stuff. This is good. Packs away real easy. It's cheap. You know, you can just throw it away once you're done with it if you want to bring it back or whatever. Okay. Put the lid on this. We're going to put it back. Barbasol shave cream. This is the original. That's what I had. And they've changed a little over the years, you know. Again, look, it's not bad stuff. It does the job. And, I mean, look, canned shave cream has been around probably since the late 40s, definitely in the 50s. And, you know, this is kind of now a vintage as well, you know, as far as, you know, it being around for so long, it hasn't gone anywhere. So it's still going. It's still really relatively inexpensive. And, you know, I know a lot of guys like it, and that's totally fine if you like it, man. It's just, for me, not too crazy on the stuff that's in there. It's not really all that great for your skin. Again, it makes my skin dry out really bad. So, yeah, it is what it is. But honestly, like if I was in a real big rush and I didn't have time to do, you know, soap and lather and, you know, get, you know, with a brush and all that, I'll grab it, you know, full disclosure, I'll grab that, or the Gillette Foamy. I like that one better, but I didn't use that till I was in high school and afterwards. So, all right, Brute Classic Scent, Essence of Man. Yeah, is a great one, guys. I love Brute. I was a Brute man, but now I'm just kind of an everything that smells good. I like Clubman, I like Old Spice, I even like Aqua Velva. You know, I like the musk better than the ice blue. The ice blue isn't bad, but it's kind of like, it's on the low end of my scale of what I would use. But yeah, Brute is the stuff, guys. And then this Gillette Aftershave Lotion worked great. Rehydrated my skin. Really smooth now and soft. Great shave, guys. Honestly, you know, really nice and presentable. Definitely great for work or going out or something. You know, Not bad at all. All right, guys, that's the shave. Thanks for going down memory lane with me. And you can show your appreciation by liking the video, commenting down below, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the bell notification to be alerted to all future videos. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Take care.